Hello, I'm James.
Bonjour, I am Ben.
Hello, I'm Simon, and we are BiFFY CLYRO, and you're watching ROCKNLIVE.
Drip, 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 drip.
It wasn't deliberate. We toured our last album for about 2.5 years, and we were really tired at the end of such a heavy touring schedule. So we went home and took a few months off, and then started working the album. We didn't want to rush it. You know, music, you never know when music is going to come, and there's nothing worse than trying to force a song or an album. So we waited and let the muse take hold. So we weren't twiddling our thumbs though. We were active the whole time. So not just lazy. We're not like Guns N' Roses.
I shouldn't laugh, but I know I'm a failure in your eyes. I know it's daft, but I guess I know it deep inside.
I guess you're kind of you get inspired by life and what happens in your life, and the first album is reflecting back on things in the past and how you end up in one certain moment, and then the second disc is about trying to grab that moment and make what you can of it. So the first record's slightly more negative, and the second record's got more of a positive outlook. And we just had lots of songs this time. You know, normally we have about 20 songs to pick from the album, but this time we had 45, and we just felt the time was right to do a double record, and you know, we felt we could make it worthwhile and not just self-indulgent.
It feels like we're ready to crack these, you and I. When it's just the two of us, only the two of us, I could die.
This is called The Sand at the Core of Our Bones, and that's about, like Simon said, reflecting back in the past and things that have happened in your life that have brought you to a part of your life which is perhaps a little bit unhappy, and there's a certain amount of resignation in that you're kind of stuck in this situation, you can't really do anything about it. And the second disc that landed at the end of our toes is about kind of moving forward and trying to change things in your life and perhaps being a little bit more positive. And I guess those two outlooks in life kind of mirror most people's life in a way, where you have two different ways of looking at life. Every day you wake up, it could be one way or it could be another, and I think that's where the opposites come in. And you know, just about the kind of the happy and the sad things in life, and the yin and the yang, I guess.
Yeah, some days you feel like you can conquer the world, and other days you just don't even want to face the world. Yeah.
You left my heart like an abandoned car, older and worn, I don't use it all, but I used to be free.
We recorded in Los Angeles, Santa Monica, in a great studio called The Village. That's been the home for Fleetwood Mac and mine's gone blank now.
Rolling Stones,
of course, and Steely Dan, and tons of great
Dr.
bands.
Dre.
Dr. fucking. And we recorded again with Garth Richardson, who we did our last 2 albums with. So it was nice to do a third.
We like to get away from home. So
No, on you go.
we like to get away from home when we record and get to the sunshine. Take advantage of those record company bucks.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's nice to go away and record in a pleasant environment, and the sun blazing through the window every morning definitely helps you get up. So it was a really nice place to be for 5 months.
We're gonna separate ourselves tonight. We're always running scared but holding knives. But there's a black chandelier.
No, it's the same as all our albums, I guess. I write the songs at home on my guitar, and that's why there was such a gap between the last album and this one, because I don't write songs on the road at all. I find it really hard to motivate myself when we're on tour, because when you're on tour you play a gig every night and you get slightly better at playing a show, and it's kind of like Groundhog Day. So when we came home, we spent a couple of months just not really practicing, and I just kind of most nights would come up with a new song or a new idea, and but it's exactly the same way as we've worked from the very start. You know, we do. I guess if it's not broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's casting shadows and lies. I'll sit in silence for the rest of my life if you'd like.
We just spent.
You like that one?
Wow!
It's here, baby.
Yeah, we just spent a lot of time on the drums this time, especially with using lots of different kinds of drums and lots of different tuning techniques, and because I think when you have 20 tracks of music, it's important that the drums sound different from song to song. So we tried to use as many different kinds of drums as possible, and also record the drums in lots of different rooms. So you can hear about 4 or 5 different rooms on the record, and even within a single song we might use 2 different drum kits in different rooms as well. And we just spend a lot of time tuning and making everything sound clear, like you say, and I think it's important because that's the kind of the skeleton of the song and the heartbeat, so it has to be clear. But thank you for noticing.
Plus Ben played really, like a lot of it's in the playing as well. You know, you can have a great drum sound, but if the drummer isn't on fire, then it might not pop. You know, I mean, every time I play drums, it sounds amazing. But you know, but yeah, as I say, it's more about the player perhaps than the sound, and I think Ben's played drums better than he ever has before, and it shows. So
Thank you.
Right.
Dressing our winds with industrial gloves made of wire. Feel it penetrating the skin. We begin to relax.
it's basically a rock record, but it's got every type of kind of rock music you could write. So you know, there's punk songs, there's stoner rock songs, there's kind of electronic kind of rock songs, and proggy songs, and I think it's hopefully everything that a 3-piece rock band could do. You know, with guitar, bass, inspired by guitar, bass, and drums, and it's kind of like an extension of the Usual Illusion records, I guess. we called them initially. We called the albums Usual Illusion 3 and Usual Illusion 4. So we wanted to make a record as ridiculous as Guns N' Roses, but as heartfelt as Nirvana, and hopefully that's what we've done.
When it's just the 2 of us and a cute little cup of cyanide. You left my heart like an abandoned car, old and worn, I no use at all, but I used to be.
Yeah, we play in the Bataclan in Paris on the 6th of March, which we can't wait for. And I guess to prepare for tour, it's kind of like going to war a wee bit, you know, like you're leaving all your loved ones behind, and you're leaving reality behind, and you're kind of going on this adventure. So for us, I guess it's kind of second nature now because we've been doing it for so long. But I mean, all we do is just make sure that musically we're on top of things, and we now have two other folk that help us out live. You know, we've got an extra guitar player and an extra keyboard guy. So I guess we've got a bit more practicing to do than normal. But you know, you just I mean, it's kind of what we do. It's what we've been doing for the last 10 years. So it's kind of hard to say how we prepare, because I guess we wouldn't know how not to prepare. You know,
we would always prepare.
It can kind of become second nature. We spend so much time on the road that you don't even really, you do things automatically. It's kind of like a motor function, I guess, in a way. You just kind of get ready without even thinking about it. And I compare it to I don't know where I heard this, but somebody talked about how you brush your teeth, and it's one of those things you do without thinking about. You get try to explain it to somebody would be quite difficult, I guess.
I do brush your teeth. It's really boring. Yeah.
Really. But no, we'll be ready, that's for sure.
We're gonna separate ourselves tonight. We're always running scared but holding knives. But there's a black chandelier. It's casting shadows and lies.
Well, mine's isn't actually a double album, but Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 are my favourite kind of. I know it's not a double, so people of the world, I know it's not a double, but that's my favourite double album.
I don't like double albums. That's the real challenge with this, is to try and break the mould and make a truly awesome double album.
I'd say the White Album by the Beatles. I hate to talk about one of the most classic albums ever. There's a couple of songs that I feel like I wouldn't be massively disappointed if they weren't on the records, but apart from that, I think it's an absolute winner. And anything that can stand up to the test of time that well is quite incredible. Hope in 20, 30, 40 years time our records kind of thought of in the same regard. That'd be amazing.
Separate ourselves tonight. We're always running scared but holding knives. But there's a black chandelier.
Bonjour. We're sorry that it's taken us so long to come back, but hopefully by this time next year we'll have spent a lot of time in each other's company and we can get to know each other a little bit better, and hopefully you'll love the new record and have as much as we do.
Thanks for the continued support. We really appreciate it, and we're going to rock your socks off for the coming year. That's for sure. Fuck yeah.
But holding knives. But there's a black shadow